What is up, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we are checking out the Portuguese metal band Enchantya. This is a somewhat older release. The record was released in 2012, and the video was released in 2013. Couple of reasons I am doing this video today. One, I haven't had a chance to cover anything from Enchantya, and their vocalist Rute was such a kind, wonderful woman who reached out and asked me to check them out. And you know me and my lovely relationship with the Portuguese scene. And two, more importantly, they were just recently announced the signing with Inverse Records from Finland, and they are going to release their new record on 24 May of 2019. So, in order to get the wheels turning and hopefully generate a little bit of excitement for the new single, the new record, and to congratulate them for landing a record deal with Inverse Records, we're going to check out the video for the track Dark Rising. I have not heard the band, so I don't know a ton of what to expect. I know they do utilize a male-female dynamic, and I certainly have a love for that style of sound. So I'm really curious what we're going to get. So let's go ahead and get into it. Here we go. Love that main riff already. Got a kind of a thrash feeling. Alright. Does have that big, bombastic symphonic metal sound here. Unfortunately, it is suffering from that usual trap with symphonic metal bands. Those synths are way too forward. When I listen to guitar-driven stuff, I want those guitars to lead the way, and the synths are kind of drowning out some of their elements. Really cool shift into that polyrhythm, though. Really outstanding fills there. She's got a fantastic voice. Really like the tone of her voice here. Track builds well. Guitars are really thick. I like the way she went up slightly with the register, brought a little bit more intensity to the delivery. Really cool vocal layering with the different layers and harmonies. She's got a ton of control vocally, and that really translates. Really strong groove here. I like the way the double bass is rolling through in the back. It's really interesting layering, but it sounds a touch muddy in spots. I like that piano roll in the back there. Really sculpted some interesting soundscapes with the different vocals. Clearly she's got classical training. I like that drum shift underneath that riff there. Does such a great job of floating through some of those passages vocally. Didn't expect her to be handling the aggressive. For some reason, I thought that was a male vocal. Awesome. Really strong control in that vibrato there. I do feel like the use of the wah is almost out of place with the rest of the track, though. Also really like how audible the bass lines are here in the track. That was Enchantya. The track is Dark Rising from their 2012 release. And like there's some fantastic things about it. I know the band lineup has changed from what I was reading on their Facebook page. And the current lineup is going to be a little different with members. Rute is certainly still there driving the train vocally. And she's really what stands out. Love her vocal tone. Love the different layers that she's able to utilize. There's a couple of parts where she's just using her voice as an instrument. Do get a lot of that opera-like feeling. And I really enjoyed that. I think her voice is strong enough with enough point of difference and enough to grab onto me as a listener to make me feel something that she stands out and the band stands out among their peers. And unfortunately, that symphonic metal landscape is highly populated. There are a lot of symphonic metal bands out there, so it can be really difficult to stand out. And they've got enough of a point of difference where I don't immediately listen to them and think they sound like Nightwish, or they sound like After Forever, or they sound like anything Floor's done, or a lot of the other bands out there that dominate the symphonic metal landscape. So that's a great thing, especially from a 2012 release that clearly came out about 6.5 to 7 years ago. Unfortunately, from a mixed perspective, they do run into that trap that so many symphonic metal bands do, where those synths are just too forward. In the beginning part of the track, they dominate the mix quite a bit, and they actually drown out, at least for the most part, they drown out. I was able to make it out just a little bit, but they almost completely drown out the opening solo. And that's not necessarily a great thing. So hopefully that gets cleared up in their new release. The other little thing was, I feel like personally, now I'm not the guitar player, so it's not my call, but I don't really feel like the wah needed to be there. I feel like you could have had that played clean and it would have had just as much, if not more, impact. It just sounded out of place compared to the rest of the track. The riffs were tasty. The drummer has a killer sense of feel, especially doing a lot of double bass. Got some really outstanding fills that are busy, but they're not too busy. And there's always a really fine line there. Either you're really busy or you're not busy enough. or you're too busy. So I think they balanced that out really well. I don't feel like he overplays. I like the level of fills and accents that he's doing. And even like the drum tones for the most part. I mean, you do get a lot of that clicky, almost trigger-like sound, but it works well. And with that synth being so dominant, it does help cut through that mix. So that's a really good thing. Overall, I think it's a really strong track. It's a track that would stand out enough for me to go back for a second listen, as opposed to some of the other bands I've done. And it's enough to really get me intrigued for the new record coming out here in a couple of months. And this year is going to be a fantastic year for female fronted, I hate much to use that term, but for the symphonic metal with female voices. And a lot of metal with female voices. I do hate using that term, female fronted. But Cellar Darling's got a new release coming out. Ulvadi's got a new release coming out. The lovely Diane Van Gerschen, her band has a new EP coming out, the second in the and series that they're doing. So there's stuff going on. I think Chrysilia is in the studio as well. And I know there's several more. I know that Be Under Arms is a new record coming out in April. It's going to be a really good year for Burn Damage is going in the studio as well. So it's going to be a really good year for bands that utilize female singers. And I'm looking forward to it. So hope you guys are as well. I know I've actually done quite a bit of female of stuff lately that have female singers, and it's always a good thing. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know. Go check them out. Give them some love. Rute is a really, really wonderful woman in the dealings that I've had with her, and I certainly wish the best for her and the band. And I cannot wait to be able to cover their latest video when it does get released. So thank you guys. Thank you to the band. Thank you to Rute. Really appreciate it. Thank you to my law enforcement, military veterans, and first responders for what you do every single day. As always, you have been awesome. I have been Baldman. I will see you in the next one. Be excellent to each other and keep headbanging.